Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hello, I'm Charlene Schmidt.
I'm Patrick Schmidt.
We just watched Sleeping in Light, the final episode of Babylon 5, and I'm not crying, you're crying. Well, we did it.
We did.
The show, this is it. It's over.
A pretty fitting end.
Yeah, 20 years into the future from when it would have originally aired.
Sure.
Had they not gotten season 5, which explains why we see General Susan Ivanova, even though she was not there for the 5th season, and why there's no Lockley and what have you. But the band gets together for one last hurrah because of the inevitable.
I mean, if you gotta go out,
have a party!
That's a way that makes a lot of sense. Celebrate while you still can.
Hell yeah. So I gotta ask, with this originally being written and shot to cap off at the very end of season 4, it fits just fine with the continuity of season 5, but do you think it might have worked better if they had to have wrapped it up after season 4?
Season 5 was definitely, you could tell, an add-on.
Okay.
But at the same time, season 5, we've talked about it plenty of times here, season 5 still gave us stuff that was worth having and worth being part of the canon. It's been sort of like an extended epilogue, but that's been good. I like epilogues, you guys.
So I guess let's do a quick rundown of what everybody is up to over the last 20 years when we catch up with them.
Sure.
Some are somewhat predictable. Like
Yes.
Franklin, still working in the medical field. Garibaldi, still kicking some butt at Edgar's Industries. Has a kid, and that is definitely his kid. Talk is cheap.
Yeah.
Love it.
Side point, one of the best takeaways from this episode was newspapers survive.
Does that make you really happy?
It does. Ivanova's been being bored out of her mind as a general.
Yeah, and a little lost, which makes sense considering how she did exit season 4.
Sure.
She never really fully regained that. Kind of has this new rebirth as Entil Za taking over from Sheridan.
And Veer.
Emperor Veer. And having fun in his new duties, it seems.
Yeah, he seems to be taking care of things, which was great.
I love how at the end, Zach, I guess, retires from his life on Babylon 5 and is now his assistant to veto all the bills or something.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, he found a spot.
Yeah, which is great. Did you catch that Zach had a limp?
A little one. I think everyone had a little bit of a shuffle just getting older, but I didn't catch his distinctive limp, no.
Yeah, no, he did, and I thought that was a nice touch by Jeff Conaway to kind of show that Zach had been through some things in his time. Obviously, Delenn, head of the Alliance.
Sure.
Sheridan stepped down from that. Was Entil Za, and obviously that's come to a close now. And Londo and Char and Lanier, notoriously absent.
Rest in peace, apparently.
Yes.
And we knew Londo was dead. We knew Char was probably dead.
Very likely dead.
And Lanier, who knows?
Yes. So there's some tear-jerkers, heartbreaking moments in this episode. There's 2 that distinctly break me, one of which is Sheridan and Delenn's goodbye.
Sure.
The other is the destruction of Babylon 5 when Joe, who is the guy who shuts off the lights, that's the end of B5. I'm misting up right now just thinking about it. Oh my God. This is one of the shows that breaks me. A lot of times I'm fully aware that I'm watching TV and I don't get that emotionally invested. Even if I really like it and I enjoy the characters, it never makes me cry. There's a disconnect. B5 breaks it. There
needed to be some kind of the party's over moment. It makes it so much more real that this is the end. You've seen all those pan CGI shots for years and years and years and years, 5 years of it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you realize that consistency that you had there, it's done. It's gone. It's over.
Right? And the next time you see Epsilon 3, there's no station ahead.
Yeah, and that's enough to make anyone emotional who's connected to it. That makes sense.
Totally. Did you yourself get a little emotional at all, or no?
Yes, I did. Even my frozen heart melted a little bit. It wasn't so much, for me, about Babylon 5.
Okay, what was it about?
It was about my wife.
I was thinking about that a lot, too.
What it means to share a life with someone. And if you can't tell, this one means a lot to me.
Likewise. So was Sheridan and Delenn's goodbye the more impact on you?
When the station was exploded, I probably felt more tears, but I felt it deeper with the goodbye.
You know, it's different for me every time. Sometimes I'm already a puddle of tears by the time Sheridan and Delenn are saying goodbye,
Sure.
much less even getting to the station at all. But this time for me, I couldn't hold it back anymore by the time Joe was turning out the lights. Every freaking goddamn time Sleeping in Light gets me, I can't not tear up.
So one of the things that we learned from this episode is that when you see a bright light, you walk toward it. And we're surrounded by the bright lights, and we're going to walk out of the frame and toward the light and end Babble for 5.
I like it. Where, Lorianne?
Yeah.
Lorianne!
Yeah.
You missed your cue.
Before then, like, comment, subscribe this last Babble for 5, and don't forget the Nerd Party is going to be doing other cool things, so stay subscribed and keep in the loop with the other cool things that are happening on this channel.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for those of you who've been watching us for a long time now. This is, by the time we're finished, it will be a project we've been working on for the last 2.5 years. That's no short amount of time. So for those of you who have been around, wow, thank you for sticking with us all this time. Thank you every week, every Sunday for making comments and watching the show and just doing your thing. Thank you so very much for coming with us on this journey. And we do have at least one more thing to do with the show.
Yes.
And that is our wrap-up, which we will do next week.
Yeah, pretty excited for that. Hopefully you'll join us for it. Thank you to all the Babylon 5 fans for making me feel welcome and making me feel like this was something that was doable and something that was worthwhile. And for those of you who've watched this and watched me go through this for the first time, thank you for opening your hearts and minds. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for helping make Patrick's experience so awesome, and thank you for being willing to go through it. It's been so much fun doing this with you.
Yes, and we have other projects in the works. Maybe you'll join us for one of those projects in the future.
We'll throw some contact information into the description so you can keep tabs if you're interested in seeing what we do next. That's it, everybody. Sun's coming up.
Yes, we're going to walk into the light.